From County College of Morris, this is CCM All Access.
All right, welcome to CCM All Access, the show that brings you news and information about the County College of Morris. Today, we're here with Kari Hawkins from the Transfer Services Department, and I'm your host, Dan Giordano. Kari, thanks for being with us today.
No problem. I'm happy to be here.
So let's start out by asking what you do here at CCM.
Sure. So my office handles the transfer from the community college onto our four-year partner schools. We work with students to make sure that they are getting accepted into the school that they're interested in, to make sure that their credits are moving forward with them. We work with the four-year schools to make sure, they've reviewed our programs and our courses accurately. So we're just trying to make that process from going from the associate's degree to the bachelor's degree a little bit more smooth.
A little bit more seamless of a process.
Absolutely.
That sounds like a lot. So are you the only one who does that, or?
Yes, I am
Really?
the only one who does that. So our office is located on the first floor of the Student Center, and we sit in the same suite as the Counseling and Student Success and Career Services.
Right.
And it's myself and my administrative assistant, Nancy Branca.
Nice. So you're the main person then.
Yeah. So we have students coming in. They make an appointment to kind of talk about their transfer plans, and we go over what they want to do. And then I work a lot on the partnerships with the four-year schools. So I go out and visit the colleges to make sure we kind of stay abreast of what they're offering, so we can kind of give that information out to the students.
So then how many agreements do we have with other schools?
So we have a lot of articulation agreements. We've worked hard to partner with schools that we consider to be transfer friendly. When I say transfer friendly, I mean they're accepting transfer students into their programs. They're accepting they're accepting their credits into the programs. They're giving transfer scholarships to students who are deserving of such. So we really try to make sure that we work with schools that are, going to accept our students and value the experience that they've had here at CCM.
Right.
We probably have over 100 articulation agreements right now. Some of them are program to program, which means like if you're a business major here at CCM and you want to pursue business at Rider University, that's a program to program agreement. We've partnered with other schools for financial incentives. So, for example, we signed an agreement with Fairleigh a few years ago, Fairleigh Dickinson University, to offer a scholarship to all students who graduate from CCM and pursue a degree there. So
if I could just stop you for a second on that. So with Fairleigh Dickinson, is that any degree from CCM, they will give a scholarship if you attend their university?
So we signed the Scholars Program with FDU, and it gives students a 40% tuition discount if they've graduated from CCM. No minimum GPA required. And then that amount goes up as the GPA goes up. So students with a 3.0 grade point average or higher can get even additional scholarship dollars. Students in organizations like Phi Theta Kappa can get additional scholarship dollars as well. So.
And that's just with Fairleigh Dickinson then?
That agreement is just with FDU. We have a lot of different agreements. Do you want to hear more about some of them?
Yeah, please, tell me.
So we signed an agreement with Rider a few years ago. We have 25 plus programs included in that agreement. And it shows how the credits transfer from CCM into the programs at Rider so that you make sure you're going in as a junior. It offers students who are interested in Rider the opportunity to take a free course there before they, commit to enrolling. So while you're a student here at CCM, you can take a Rider course for free if you have the intent in the program. So that's a pretty interesting agreement. It's like test driving a car, I guess, right? You can go see if you're going to like the campus and like the people within your major and within your discipline.
The free trial.
Yeah. We have an agreement with Montclair State. It's called the 2+2.
Right.
So students who are interested in pursuing a specified list of majors at Montclair kind of have the guarantee of knowing that their associate degree moves into the four-year school and is at half, they're halfway done, and they're going to be able to finish that program in 4 semesters or 2 years if they're working full-time towards the degree. There's 20 majors listed within the 2+2 agreement.
Got it.
There's a bit of guaranteed admission, so if you hit a certain checkpoint with your GPA, you're going to be a good candidate for that program. So that gives students a real good sense of security as they're moving forward. They know that they've got some options.
And that's with Montclair specifically?
That's with Montclair. So like I said, all of the agreements are a little bit different. We partnered with different schools in different ways and try to find ways that benefit the student, that's moving forward into the 4-year.
I like that. So what about like the statewide transfer agreement? Like how does that work?
I love that you know about the statewide transfer agreement. Most of the time I go out and I'm the one talking about, hey, have you heard about the statewide transfer agreement? So in 2008, New Jersey signed what's known as the Lampett Bill or the Lampett Law, which is also referred to as the statewide transfer agreement. Which basically says if you graduate from a community college in New Jersey, one of the 19, and you move on to a 4-year public institution, so schools like Rutgers, Montclair, Kane, Ramapo, William Patterson, NJIT, TCNJ, could go on, right?
Yeah.
And you earn here either an AA, Associate in Arts, or AS, Associate in Science, they're going to take all of your credits towards the 4-year degree, okay? So it's this guarantee that if you start at a community college and go to a public school and you're in what's designated as a transfer program, you're going to bring all of your credits with you into the 4-year school. And what they do is they waive the general education requirement, and so you're halfway there and you're ready to hit the ground running as a junior when you arrive at your 4-year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and what I would say is, and we'll probably talk about this more, but the majority of our students are looking at public schools, and it's kind of like one hand washes the other in this, students look at public schools because of the convenience and the cost and certainly quality of programming that's available at those schools. But now they have this really good benefit of, knowing that all their credits are going to transfer with them into the 4-year program.
Got it.
So
then let's take Montclair, for example. So with the 2+2, there's only a select amount of degrees, right, that would go in. So then would the statewide transfer agreement mean that even if your major doesn't fall into that 2+2, you still get your gen eds out of the way?
Absolutely. If you are, so some of the majors that aren't covered in the 2+2, it doesn't mean that students can't get there and finish their bachelor's degree in 4 semesters. They absolutely can. We work hard to make sure that we know that students are prepared to enter the program that they're going into. However, those majors are sometimes more selective or more competitive. So the GPA for business, for example, is higher to get into that program. So that's why it's not listed in the 2+2 agreement.
Got it. Okay.
And so there are some selective programs where you could go in and you could finish in 4 more semesters or in 2 years, and you're going to get 60 transferable credits, but it's a more selective program, so it's not outlined in that agreement.
Got it. Awesome. The reason, part of the reason I'm asking is because I'm going to have to be transferring soon myself. So I'm starting to look at like Montclair, looking at Rutgers, a whole list, maybe Fairleigh Dickinson. That scholarship is something I had no idea about, so that might really sweeten the pot.
They've got a great business school.
Do they really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. I honestly, Fairleigh Dickinson wasn't quite on my radar just because I didn't bother to look yet. But
there's so many good programs out there, and what I would encourage you and other students to do is get out to the four-year campus, visit the campus,
Right.
go to an open house, meet with some of the faculty, administrators, and like student support offices that you're going to be working with while you're a student there, and really just get the idea, is this a good fit for me?
Right.
You know, everyone says, what's something I can do now to start planning for transfer? And most commonly I answer with, go see the campuses that you're interested
Check
in
them
so you
out.
get an idea of where you want to go.
So then when you're when you're visiting these schools that you might transfer to, what would be some good things to have in the back of your mind to maybe ask faculty there, or to be kind of checking off to see if that school would be good for you?
Sure. First, you know, you want to start with a contact in the admissions office. So someone who specifically is working with transfer students. A lot of times they're going to be the people that are reviewing your application when it comes through. And so what's the minimum GPA requirement to get into the major I want to come in for?
Right.
What concentration areas do you offer within that field? So you mentioned that you're a business major and you're going to be interested in transfer. If you're in the business degree here, you have a lot of opportunity when you transfer. You can go into programs like marketing or human resources, finance, accounting, management, hospitality, retail. So there's a lot of different opportunities for you. So to explore maybe what those areas are at each school. I'd be certainly interested in what their outcomes of their program are. So what types of jobs are their students getting? What types of internships are they getting? Who is the school working with, or who is that department working with?
Right.
How are students building their network while they're here? What other experiences are they involved in that make being at that institution, you know, a really great experience?
Right.
So those are just some of the things.
Yeah.
What kind of scholarships? Absolutely, go ask them that.
Okay.
Ask them what type of scholarships they're giving out for transfer students.
Are there typically like a select group of scholarships that specifically apply to transfer students?
I think at the four-year institution, they, you know, a lot of the transfer-friendly schools designate some money for recruiting new transfer students. So
it's good for us.
Yeah,
good for
absolutely.
us. We like that at CCM. So then let's see. One thing that would also be interesting to know is you've seen so many students over the years, and you've been at this for how many years? Probably.
So I've been at CCM 11 years.
Yeah.
I just had my 10-year anniversary last year. Otherwise,
Congrats.
I probably wouldn't have been able to answer that question so quickly. I would have had to do some math in my head. But I've been here 11 years, and I've been doing transfer specifically for about 9 years.
Wow.
So I've seen a lot of students, absolutely.
So then, because you've seen so many different types of people, is there anything that you've found that students are surprised about in the transfer process?
I think there's some common myths in transfer. You know, like every once in a while, I have some students come in and they're just not sure about how the process works. So if we could maybe dispel some of those myths, that would be a good thing. You're not automatically going to get in somewhere just because you came to CCM, right? You need to work hard while you're here.
Yeah.
You need to establish a good GPA. You need to make sure that you're having a good experience. So that's one thing. You know, I have some students that come in and just think that it's an automatic transition, and
it's expected.
while it's a smooth transition, it isn't an automatic transaction. So that would be one thing. Let's think.
So let's see. So one of them then is making sure that you put in the work, you get everything done in time, and you don't expect that it's a given that you're going to get into another school.
Yeah, you know, one of the advantages, people ask me, like, why do you like what you do, or what do you get out of it? Seeing students move on to get their bachelor's degree, you know, there's a lot of excitement in this. It's a fun conversation, right? So I get to have fun with that part of it every day. You know, some of the students I work with didn't have these opportunities when they came out of high school.
Right.
And so, you know, they've realized that by coming to CCM and doing well here, high school grades are in the past.
Yeah.
SAT scores are in the past. And what they did here is what the four-year school is going to be looking at and using to determine whether or not they're a good applicant into their school.
Right.
And so, you know, those students who came into CCM and made that change and are really excelling academically and have so much opportunity, that's a really exciting thing. So I would say that's something students are like, oh, I really don't need to send my high school grades, or that's not going to be a factor. Yeah,
that's super exciting.
Yeah, they're going to focus on what you did here, which is a good thing.
It's like a clean slate, pretty much.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take a quick break and stay tuned, and we'll be right back to learn more.
I'm Andrea Lucia, a graduate of County College of Morris. At CCM, I gained a high-quality education, was involved with clubs on campus, and performed university research in tissue engineering. My CCM education prepared me for ongoing success. Today, I am at Cornell University, studying engineering and performing research in cardiac tissue engineering. The professors and staff at CCM helped me to start right and finish strong.
All right, and welcome back to CCM All Access. We're here with Kari Hawkins. So thank you again for being with us today. We'd like to jump back in by asking what types of events CCM has for transfer.
Sure. So we have a few things happening out of our office. One of the most exciting, I would say, is the Instant Decision Day program that we offer. So each semester, we allow students who will be graduating from CCM to come in and meet with representatives from the senior institutions to have them review their applications, and they get an answer on the spot of whether or not they're accepted or not. So we do instant decision right now with 14 colleges and universities. They come every semester. So for students who are graduating in January or in May or in August, they all have an opportunity to participate in that. The biggest benefits of that, that students, number one, they get a one-on-one meeting, which is great. The application fee is waived by the four-year school, so they aren't paying to apply to the institutions. We waive the fee for the transcript, so we'll provide their official CCM transcript on site. And most of the schools also waive their application essay as well. So students don't have to write the essay. So we have a lot of students that come in and meet with William Patterson and Montclair and College of St. Elizabeth on site, and they get an answer, yes, you're in, and they can move forward then with the enrollment process from that.
So is there enough time when they're here to like go to multiple ones? And
yeah, we let students do a few because they shouldn't be, you know, necessarily pigeonholed into one institution specifically. You know, they want to have options, and they've worked hard here, and they're going to be completing their degree. So we allow students to meet with multiple schools, and then from there they've got to make the decision that's the best fit for them.
I like that. So then when each semester, or you know, whenever they're around,
multiple times. So this fall we had 3 instant decision days. 2 were in October. We've got one happening, the last one next week, for students who are graduating in January. And then we're going to start all over again and probably have something in February and March and April for students who are graduating in either May or August.
So then if I'm graduating in May, then I wouldn't go to the one in November. I would go to one in the spring.
You're going to go to one in the spring. So instant decision days are good. We also host transfer fairs every semester. So I think it's a great idea to expose students to what some of their options, transfer options are. A lot of times we have students coming in and they say, oh, I know exactly where I want to go. But they haven't considered all of their you know, places that they could end up. So the fairs allow students to consider schools that maybe they didn't consider in the past. And we usually have about 60 or more schools from both, you know, in-state and out-of-state coming to recruit students. And there's some prestigious schools that come in to recruit at the fairs, so it's exciting.
That is. Speaking of prestigious schools, what are some of the best schools that we've had alumni transfer to?
So I'm going to take that question as most selective because
Right.
our students transfer to very good schools all the time,
Right.
right? But if we were to look at what are some of the more selective programs that
Mhm.
students have been accepted into, if I'm just thinking back the last couple of years of
Yeah.
students that I've worked with, we've got students at Cornell pursuing things in engineering as well as within human ecology, which is interesting. We've got transfer students at Columbia, which is really exciting. I know a few students who went into Columbia within the last 2 years and are really enjoying their experience there. One of my favorite students from a couple of years ago transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, and she was a bio major here, and she had really just amazing experiences when she got there, and what she continued to do was just really great.
Wow.
So that's a good one. We've had students go into Vanderbilt and the business school at UNC Chapel Hill, which is really selective. So our students really can go or have gone to so many different places.
So then what does it take for a CCM student? Like, what is a CCM student that gets into these places? What do they look like, and are there any resources for transferring that they can use?
Sure. So students who are getting into selective programs are certainly high achieving academically, right? They're here, they're maintaining a high GPA. When I say high, I'm thinking 3.5 or better.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're engaged in the campus in some way or another, right? They've taken on a leadership position and they've worked to develop some of those soft skills that are so highly sought after. Students who get into selective programs have developed a passion for what they want to do moving forward. So they've done a little bit of research in the area that they want to go into, or they've done an internship in the area that they want to explore further. They've started to build a network of people. So they've developed their passion. And I think that makes for some really great application essays and obviously really great experiences to discuss.
Got it. So they've developed some of their passion to the CCM. So you're saying that's some internship stuff, that's some just getting experience.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so I like that. So that it's a bit of a combination of grades, participating in leadership, and then maybe having some experience in the field that they're looking for.
Yeah, and just being excited about learning and what's coming next, and what you're looking forward to being a part of on the 4-year campus and knowing what's out there and available to you.
Right.
So.
So then let's take it to Rutgers, because I know I've heard a few things about Rutgers and CCM.
Yeah. So we partner with Rutgers in a few different ways. If you've noticed walking around campus, you see some Rutgers signs places, right?
I have, yeah.
And one of the most prominent ways that we've partnered with them is through their on-site degree completion programs.
Okay.
So Rutgers is here at CCM. They have an office on campus full-time and a great advisor. I don't know if you've met Tara, but
I haven't.
she's here and she's a Rutgers employee, and she's working with students who are considering moving into one of the programs that's offered on campus, and then working with the students who are here as Rutgers students pursuing their bachelor's degree. So Rutgers currently offers 4 degree programs on our campus. They offer a bachelor's degree in psychology, criminal justice, leadership and management, and marketing. So basically, you can earn a Rutgers degree without ever leaving the CCM campus.
Interesting.
And it's the Rutgers faculty and Rutgers advisement and the Rutgers experience. It's just on-site at CCM. And, convenience is a really important factor for students sometimes finishing up the degree. And Rutgers is a great school and they have a great reputation. So to mix that convenience with that quality of education, it creates some good opportunities for our students.
And are there a lot of students who make use of the program?
Absolutely. Yeah. The business program launched a year and a half ago
Mm-hmm.
on campus, and that was students were really excited and kind of, I know while we were working on getting that going,
Right.
you know, there was a lot of excitement surrounding that. Students couldn't wait for that opportunity to be here.
And that's really cool because when I heard about it, I thought it was, well, CCM courses would count as a Rutgers degree, but you're saying that it's actually like Rutgers people are coming to CCM.
Right, so students are finishing up their associate's degree with us,
Yeah.
and it would be an associate's degree in liberal arts to move into the psych program.
Mm-hmm.
An associate's degree in criminal justice would be the best fit to go into the CJ degree,
Makes sense.
or the business administration degree to go into the management or marketing program. So they're finishing their associate's degree, and they're taking all of the junior and senior level courses here on site. But
Got it.
they're Rutgers courses taught by Rutgers faculty.
Right. And then what about like graduation? So would you walk across the Rutgers platform or a CCM platform?
So you're a Rutgers student.
Yeah.
I mean, your email address is Rutgers. The library you're using is Rutgers, you know, online
Yeah,
library,
right.
And resources. The job fair you're going to is going to be a Rutgers job fair. The advisor that you're getting advisement from is going to be a Rutgers advisor.
Wow.
So you're really their student. You're just on our campus.
Right. It's the whole kit and caboodle.
That's right. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's Rutgers Newark. Or is it New
So,
Brunswick?
it's Rutgers Newark that
Yeah.
delivers the programs on campus, especially the psychology and criminal justice is coming from their school.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rutgers Business School, Newark and New Brunswick is via Newark delivering the management and marketing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then let's see. If you could give advice to students who are transferring and making this process, making this transition, what advice would you have to give to them? Because you're basically the professional at this point. You know, you've gone through, you've helped so many students get to their different landing places. So what advice could you give to us as students to help us with the process?
Sure. I meet with students all along the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get calls from students who, well, they're not students yet, right? They're thinking about coming to
Yeah.
CCM, but they want to make sure that what they're going to take here is going to move forward with them into a 4-year school. I work with students who are, you know, graduated from CCM, you know, and are now thinking about transferring on for a 4-year degree, but don't know where to start, and they're coming back to me. So for students at that earlier point, I would say, you know, start planning now. Don't wait.
Right.
The earlier you have an idea of where you want to go, and just as important, what you want to pursue when you get there, the better prepared you can be. You can make sure that you've taken the right courses, that you've hit the GPA you need to be a good applicant.
Right.
And that you're, like I said before, excited about the opportunity that you have in front of you. You know, and then the best advice for students who are kind of getting close to finishing up their degree here is to just get excited about that next step.
Yeah.
You know, we see a lot of students who feel very comfortable on our campus, and we certainly love that.
Right.
You know, and sometimes they need a little bit of a little bit of a push to
Right.
get out there. Others kind of leap into it and can't wait. But just be excited about that next experience. Make sure you're choosing a school and a program that's a good fit for what, you know, for you and for what your goals are.
Mm-hmm. So then if I'm transferring, let's say in May, you know, the end of the spring semester, when would I want to start thinking and then maybe like come in and talking to you with transfer services?
You haven't started yet?
I mean, I know where I probably want to go.
Yeah. So,
so like way earlier then probably.
No, you know, this fall, like in fall, October,
Yeah.
beginning of November is a great time to go to an open house.
Yeah.
And get on and visit the campus, but just come in and see me. You know, I try not to stress students out by saying, hey, you're late or you're early,
Right.
but I usually just try to tell them you're on time. You're
Perfect.
on time, and, you know, you'll be able to make a good transition into the 4-year school. And what I will say is I spend a lot of time going out to 4-year colleges, and most of the ones that you would think of, the regional schools that we work really closely with. And I hear the same thing from all of the representatives, which is we love your students, you know, and they really do. I would say all of the schools that we're working with,
Good.
they love CCM students. Our students are very well prepared to, you know, hit the ground running in the program that they're moving into. So, you know, I would say you're in good hands, I think,
Perfect.
and you're well prepared to go on and move forward in the transfer process.
Awesome. So then, I guess to summarize, you know, getting the process going. So first, maybe a semester or two before, we want to start going to some open houses.
Yeah.
You know, asking them questions, as you were mentioning before.
And talk to, you know, you've got a lot of really great resources here as well. One of the best are your faculty and your advisor on campus.
Right.
So talk to your faculty about, you know, what your goals are and where you see yourself going, and hear their recommendations.
Right.
What an excellent resource that is.
They're pretty well, you know, like they know about the different
They
schools.
sure are.
Yeah,
They're pretty good. Also, NJ Transfer. I don't know if you've ever been on that website, but
I've heard of it.
a really valuable tool. So it is www.njtransfer.org, and it shows how credits transfer from community colleges in New Jersey to all of the four-year schools in New Jersey, both public and private. So you can use the transfer programs tool to really see what you should be taking here to prepare to go into the programs at the four-year. There's also, you know, points of contact listed there, information about the schools that you could be interested in, events that are happening at the four-year campuses, kind of like all in one spot. So that's
requirements as well.
Requirements as well, yeah. Prerequisite courses, that kind of thing.
Got it.
Application requirements. So if you haven't been on NJ Transfer and you think you're going to a New Jersey school, you better get on that website, especially before you register for your last semester, because there may be some courses that you need to have that you want to make sure you get completed before you move on.
Got it. njtransfer.org.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right, well, Kari, thank you so much for coming out. It's been a great time, and I've learned a lot about the transfer process myself, and I'm sure everyone listening has as well.
Great.
So thanks for coming out.
No problem.
This has been another episode of CCM All Access. Thanks for staying with us, and we'll see you next time.